Hello. It's been a long 4 years, every single day in band class. I have a few things to say. It's really been an amazing experience. Last week we had an orchestra concert in this room here, where a bunch of our seniors were highlighted as soloists and whatnot. I was a soloist. I played the second clarinet part. And, after it was over though, Miss Pajak thanked the whole audience. Thank you for supporting the music program, and we hope for your continued support. And I just said, how could you not support such an amazing program? The amazing thing for me is this isn't like a all-state or all-national thing or some sort of private high school. This is just a public high school in southern New Hampshire. It has this amazing, I'd say world-class, I'd say university-level music program. It's crazy, okay? Some of you may not know, but after the 5th grade, I moved to Plastow from Connecticut. And back there, I considered our high school band, pretty good actually, and when I got here, I realized that I was not right at all. It's exceptional, the amount of work that the faculty and the students put in here and everything, and one other high school in the state has 6 music teachers in the high school, and a Mr. Manila. I always think it's so weird, you go to Allstate or something, and kids will be talking about, they're like, oh yeah, Louise Pajak is the cello judge this year, or Anthony DeBartolomeo is judging, saxophones. Our teachers are up there, they're like the head teachers in the state. It's really cool. At Jazz Allstate last year, there was this drummer kid who's just sort of hanging out, sort of like a goofy kid, but he's really cool, and Mr. Clark goes in just sort of checking things out, and he takes the kid over into a separate room and teaches him some sort of technique. And when the kid comes back, he's like, Ken Clark just gave me a private lesson. But we don't realize that we have the opportunity to be taught by such masters. Just in this little high school. It's pretty amazing. I like to talk about these masters of the band in general, starting out with Mr. Clark himself. A lot of kids, past band presidents alike, have alluded to Mr. Clark as being sort of like a pirate or something like that. He's a mentor figure, but they were certainly glad that they didn't have jazz band every day. Mr. Clark he's just. Not only is he a fantastic, musician and teacher, but he puts up with us every year. Why would he come back? Why would he want to tune flutes every single day? But he does, and he's an amazing guy. And what I think is most amazing is he's by far the best musician that's like a drummer that I've ever met in my entire life. What most kids don't realize about Mr. Clark is that he's like a jazz master. He loves jazz music, and he knows so much and has so many great stories to tell. And I think that anyone who doesn't sign up for jazz band misses out on a really important thing they could have in high school. One of my favorite high school experiences, one of my favorite memories is sort of hanging out after school, and Mr. Clark would be like, oh, go grab a book, and he sits down at the keyboard, and I'd play the bass, and Mr. D tries to keep time on the drums. And this is happening a lot of times, and we'll just sort of get together and jam out. And it's amazing, these people are not just teachers, they're musicians that are willing to give up their time, to teach us. I think it's great. But yeah, Mr. Clark, I'm extremely grateful to be taught by him, and especially since he's so in love with music and teaching. He's a good guy. Mr. D is a different story. If it was a book, it'd be called The Man, the Musician, the Motorcyclist. He's the sort of guy whose last name is substituted with a single letter because it's too scary to most people. It makes them pee their pants. He's a man like no other. Sure, I was scared out of my wits, when I was in middle school at Mr. D. But to be perfectly honest, I still am afraid of Mr. D. But I do, as I've got to know him better, I see a lot of myself in Mr. D, and he probably doesn't like me saying that. I think it's true. I think our brains operate in a lot of similar ways. I know he knows a lot more than I do. He has centuries more life experience. He has this little bit of like a glint in his eye sometimes, and I can tell, if he makes a mistake or if he's laughing, I could see myself doing the exact same thing. It just, for some reason, I don't know, I feel like I'm really similar to Mr. D. He sort of carries himself well, he's pretty suave. But he's funny from time to time, and what I really appreciate about Mr. D is that he's always learning. He wants to learn German, he wants to learn Italian, he wants to learn how to play the tuba, okay? But that's something I really appreciate. And I made a stupid thing here about our connection is sort of like analogous to Voldemort and Harry Potter. Except Mr. D isn't an evil wizard. He's a good wizard. This connection can only come from me spending, I don't know if it's just my nature, just spending so many hours in band class with Mr. D, learning his ways and learning how to act like him. He always says, we're not just making music here, we're teaching you how to live for the rest of your lives. The important thing I'm teaching you is not the music, but I'm teaching you how to turn papers on time, how to be a good student, how to succeed in life. And that's one of the most important things that I've taken out of it. And I'm really appreciative of that. And I think I owe a large part of who I am to his teaching and to himself. So, thank you, Mr. D. Also, thank you, Mr. Manella. The high school band isn't just something that I'll remember, or our seniors will remember. It has been high school for us, I think. I don't know if you could, but I couldn't imagine going to Timberlane without being in the band. The Pack has been our homes for the last 4 years, and the department our closest family, really. It's truly an exceptional experience, and we should be really grateful to have spent the last 4 years here. I sure am. Thank you.